Hello YouTube, this is Ready Set Exploit, and we're going to be doing Wreath from TryHackMe, which is a room that focuses on different challenges and methodologies. The main thing it highlights is knowing how to pivot around a network, because we start with one host, a Linux server, and then we pivot our way to a Windows server, and then another Windows server after that. So it covers a lot of topics: CVE exploitation, Git, using the different relays like Socat, Mimikatz. So I'll definitely go into it in detail. This video will be split into two. The first one, I'll be covering the first and second server, and then the second part will go from the second server into the third and pretty much owning the whole domain. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. You are provided with an IP address of the first server, so you can start with a Nmap scan -b min rate 10,000 IP address -b grep open, and what that does is it does a quick scan so that we could just enumerate the ports that we have. We have 4 ports right off the bat: 22, 443, and 80. Once this scan is over, we can do a more detailed scan with -bc, -on, nmap.txt, the IP address, and then -p, and then the remaining ports. And -v enumerates versions, -c runs the default scripts, -on saves it to a file called nmap.txt, and then IP address -p for the ports. And the reason why I do this is because it does a faster scan, because it just focuses on these 4 ports. If you were to do -p with all these, it could take a while because it's also going through all the ports, even the close ones. So we can get a bit of a jump start. We can try checking the proxy. My proxy is probably still on. Let's see. So we'll be using that later, but not now. So if we try to go to the website, we get a host name, redirects to it on HTTPS. Nmap actually tells us the same thing. Let me minimize this. So if we go port 22, we saw it was running OpenSSH. We do have distro name. Site is running Apache, both of these. But there looks like it leaked the name, which is the OS name of CentOS, so that's gonna come in handy. It also leaks the host name, which we already knew, and we have port 10,000 Miniserv 1.890 Webmin. So that is Alt-Shift-S. I meant to call that. So first things first, let's go ahead and add host name to our file, because then now if we go here, we can see the site. AI generated image looks like Thomas. It's a sysadmin. So this looks like basically your typical like resume site. Have an email, mobile phone number. So this could be good for open source intelligence. There's not much going on with the server. Look at the headers. It's really nothing going on. Nothing interesting. You could run some directory brute force, or there's not much to be found. So for the sake of time, I won't go into that. We do have a version, so we do have Miniserv 1.890, and you could Google that, and that version is pretty vulnerable. If you didn't know, a quick Google search will show you all these different things. 8.0 1.92, command execution. Pretty simple exploit. Essentially, see, it goes to the password chains.cgi, sends this refer to session.cgi, then it sends the payload on sends the payload user got root parameter to echo, and this is where the command goes, and it does -k, so it's a post request, and it attaches the headers. So pretty simple exploit. You can use this one. I'm going to use my own because why not? I rolled one up and see. There it is. Webmin. So gonna clone it. And we're gonna call this Webmin RCE git clone. There it is. And we have Webmin, do -h for help. So we need -t. We're gonna do HTTPS. Actually, let's check out the site first, just so you can see what it looks like. So we know it's 10,000, right? Let's see where, there you go. So if we go to 10,000, tells us web server is running SSL. This link doesn't work. So really what we have to do is just add an S here, and we go right to the site. See, server not found. We have some credentials. So not much we could do here. So let's see. We can enter our target, which is that. And we could do, there's two options here. You could do a reverse shell and with -lhost, specify your IP address and the port you want to listen to. This is a script I have handy. Just a quick script that I wrote so that I could always have a reverse shell ready and upgraded. This is on 9001. And if we launch it, see, that's payload, and didn't work. Let's see, 23. Oh, okay, that's why. Forgot that. There we go. You see, hanged a little bit. There we are. We have a reverse shell. We can upgrade. Do we have Python 3? We do. Control Z. We do T put lines, T put cols with the semicolon in the middle, so we can get our terminals, rows, and columns. STTY row echo, dash echo, semicolon at G, and then we do STTY rows 30, columns 128, and now we have a full function in terminal, right? And that's all on here. If there was no Python or the PTY module wasn't installed, we could also run script. The other option we have is FS, is forward shell. So maybe there is a very tight firewall, right? You could use forward shell to kind of do like a semi-interactive reverse shell, right? Who am I root? And you can actually switch directories. So we could do, so where are we now? Right, we're there. Let's go to the root directory. Where are we now? We're there, right? So, you know, it's just another way in case tight firewall that doesn't allow for reverse shells, that my script allows for that kind of bypass. But we're gonna go with the reverse shell. We call this reverse shell 1. So we are the root user. We could check if we're in Docker environment. We are not. There's no .docker env file. Let's go to our home directory. There's a .ssh directory because we want to establish some kind of persistence. Hopefully, we do have some SSH keys. That's gonna come in handy. Gonna do that. Copy these. Go back here. ID RSA. Copy these. chmod 600. Add nmap ssh root 10.200.84.200 -i id RSA. Yes, we are. So now we have better persistence on this. We could do SSH %OS. All right. So we kind of have two methods. We actually don't need the reverse shell anymore. It's just good to have, you know. So in case we lose the reverse shell, now we could just go into SSH. So now we need to know where else, right? How do we find our network? Well, we know that, let's see, hostname -I. This is our IP address. So let's see if we find something within this network, right? Different ways to do it. You can actually do, you can actually do Nmap here. So for example, if you Google like static Nmap, should be this one. First one by Andrew-D. Just download this, and now you can do it's a static version of Nmap that will come in handy. I'm a bit lazy. I don't want to do SCP. I like to go to the dev shame directory. Do we have wget? We don't. Do we have curl? We do. So curl here -nmap, or we need -o to a file called nmap. And there it is. And we're gonna do chmod. We gotta make it executable. Do -nmap. No host name resolution -st for TCP packets. So it's 10/200. You could do the network like this. You could skip and just do a range. I usually do that. If I don't find anything, then maybe I'll do this. -p-, because it takes a bit longer, but you'll be surprised sometimes what ports are not scanned when just doing the default 10,000 ports. So you know what? I wonder if I can do -b. Let's see. It might be helpful. So scanning. Okay, host down. We found one. Found this port right here. We have one at 250. Okay, but we have 150. 3389. We have a Windows port. So it's gonna be fun to start writing down. So let's do nmap. Other targets. Stay organized. What I'm gonna do is, other targets. So we have our target. I should call it just targets. And we found this one. Well, I really like this one. Has so we got about 2 minutes remaining. So, and the reason why I have this one, see, port, what was it? 80 and 3389, and that's way more useful than port 22. Port 1337 on this host. Let's see, did we skip anything else? Okay. So that is going to come in handy. Port 80, port 3389. So, let's see. We can, instead of waiting, what we can do is now, maybe we just focus on that host. Okay. And this is where the first part of pivoting is going to come in. We're going to do we're going to establish a tunnel via Proxychains so we can see the site and see what else we can find, because we can't communicate with this host. So if we tried, see, it hangs there, it's waiting, nothing ever happens. But if we create a, oh, this is going to take even longer. It's kind of funny. Let's see, because we might find other ports. So let's see. if we establish some kind of tunnel. Just leave this here. I'm actually going to call this other targets. Let's do that. Nice and organized. That's not bad. 1:35. So see if it finds any other ports that we can use. So what we're gonna do is head nmap text. All right. So I'm gonna do Proxychains. So we're gonna do -i sh-i. I'm gonna do /5 and the RSA. On the blog, I did just basic local host forwarding, which is pretty simple. It's the same idea, but I'm actually going to skip this step, and I'm going to do Proxychains, and I'll show the difference between both, and I'll show why one could be more beneficial than the other. It just depends on your target. What am I doing? I'm going to do 1080. That's used by /5, right? Establish that. So SSLMPT. See, we're listening on our local port 1080, right? So this is what's gonna happen. Let's see if I can draw it. Tunnels. So we have 10.200.84.200 us. No, that's not us. That's, let's see, 50.85.23. That's us. This is our target, CentOS, and our new target we want to get to. So we opened up a port 1080 here. So hopefully this makes sense. So we opened up 1080, right? This is gonna look terrible. And we're gonna use 1080 to connect to 10.200.84.150 to, just so that we could see a bit clear, 80. So anything on 80 there you go. That's not right. So when we establish this proxy, we're gonna this tunnel. We're gonna use a proxy chain to redirect anything from our port 1080 through this host, which can reach this host on port 80, and that's for any other port. I'm choosing port 80 because it's a quick example, right? So. Oh, there we go. It only found these two ports open. That's interesting. So let's see. We're on CentOS. Can we listen on here? Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna call this SSH proxy. So first thing is we already established our proxy here, right? With this command, 1080. So what does that mean? So you can do it two ways. So for example, we're gonna try to go to the IP address. Where'd it go? Let's see, this one. And try to go to this one. Still not connecting, but we established the proxy. The reason is because we have to set up a proxy server here. We're actually going to turn this off. This is our Burp. And we're going to do /5 because that's where we're listening to. We're listening on we're using us as a proxy, right? Port 1080. So now when we go here, we get a page, right? And it's the same, and again, the reason is when we establish that proxy through SSH, we can reach this new network on port 80 is being tunneled through this port, right? That's basically what it's saying to our proxy service, so we can reach it. There's another way to do it, and the reason why I prefer this is because now you could reach any port. So let's go ahead and show you another thing if you're not familiar with. If we curl this, we don't get anything, it hangs. We need to specify our what our proxy service is going to be. So you go to this file, you go to the bottom, and you're going to do reduce socks 5127. It specifies where the proxy 1080. And again, the SSH is handling that communication through our port. So anything goes through our port goes through SSH, reaches port 80 on that machine, right? So now if we try the same command, another thing I do is I go all the way up. Where is it? Here, I enable quiet mode, so that way there's not a lot of verbose output. So if we do curl, still doesn't work. We have to do Proxychains. There we go, right? And that is just a quick lesson on that. Let's go ahead and we're gonna exit this. Right, we're no longer listening. If we try to refresh, it says no, because proxy server is not working. Let's do another trick called local port forwarding. Essentially, is we're gonna still create a tunnel, but we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna focus on one port, and that is port 80. Where the other one, through the proxy service, I could connect to either port 80, 3389. I could, go to whatever port I wanted. And because we're actually clear on this, I'm still gonna scan this. I'm gonna show you the other method, 1-150, and we're gonna actually just not do all port, just so it's a little bit quicker. There we go. So while it does that, and actually I'm not gonna do -B because we know that it's working. So there we go. Let's clear it. Now, back here. So we want to connect to that IP address we needed. So we're gonna do a -L for local port forwarding. We're gonna select a port we want to use locally. So just for to show the example, we're gonna choose 80. I always like to keep ports the same. We want to choose the target. And the target was that IP address we found. And the target port 80. And let's see. Oh wow. 1 second. Just making sure the room's still up. Oh, okay. Interesting. I have access to the network even though it says it's down. Those funny things, right? Anyway, so you see, we established a tunnel. If we listen, go to our port, we see, oh, I forgot something. Let's exit. We're not using proxies. Let's just use the tunnel, right? So there we go. If we listen, we're listening port 80 locally. So now everything similar to the proxies, everything is tunneling through the SSH from port 80 through SSH to us, right? So if we go back here, I'm gonna turn this off. Now instead we go through our local host, we get the site. Let's exit, do it again. For now, maybe I want to use port 1337. it's the same principle, but now I would have to do 1337, and I can still access the site, right? So this one, but I can only access port 80 on that side. If I try using port 3389, it won't work. And we have a couple of more IPs. So it finds this one. This is us. Kind of knew that. 150. Actually, look, 150 finds 5985, which is WinRM. 53. So we kind of know that one. This finds this one, so that's another one. But it's filtered, which means there's some kind of firewall that we can't. So we can't even get to it from this Linux server. So this is more apparent that we have to get here. Targets. Probably should have filtered. The only port that matters is this one. So now we have our targets, right? And let's see. But so you could do either way. It'll get you the same result. So I'm actually gonna stick with this one for now. It's a little bit easier to manage. Go here. Probably should get that IP address. There we go. There we go. And we have the site. So from here, we can get going to the second server. So we have a page now found 404, Django. Okay. We have, looks like we have a couple of URLs here: login, Gitstack, web. All right. So let's go ahead and see if we go here, what happens. Oh, okay, Gitstack. And that is handy, admin. So it's running Gitstack, no version information. So we're kind of going blind here. Gitstack. Does this find anything? Falls to the same thing. Rest. Okay. There is, let's see. So let's go to Gitstack. It's the same thing, right? So, same thing, we can look at Gitstack exploits. Probably should turn off the proxy. There we go. So, dark team, there we go. So we do have this one. Now we don't know the version, so this could go either way, right? But we can examine this IP address, the command, repository username, password, cross-site request. So rest, okay, it kind of matches. So the exploit does the request, the web interface, repositories. So access creates a backdoor in PHP. That is handy. We don't know if it's PHP, I think. It just creates one in PHP. So that's our payload right here. Okay, system.host. And okay, saves it to gitstack.git php exploit. Okay. So this is particularly for Windows. We have a here. So this is where the files would be if this is vulnerable. And we have this directory here, web, and the file's called exploit. So if we were to turn this on, go here, see if this matches web. It takes a second to load. Hope I didn't lose the connection. Still on? Uh-oh. Oh, okay, there we go. I thought I lost connection. So let's do web. There we go. Okay, so we have website git, pass, okay. I got it. So this looks like this could be helpful. I think that's, if you're not sure of a version, we could try the exploit and hope that we that it works. So let's see. Yes. Let's go ahead, get rid of that. Do Gitstack RCE, Gitstack Y, copy this. Now, I want to change a couple of things. I want to change this. I'm going to call it RSE. It's my file. That way, you know, it doesn't, if somebody else is on this network, they don't overwrite it. Although I don't think that'll matter, but because it'll be the same thing, but it's just keeps things clean. My IP address, oh, actually no. The IP address that we want to attack. Command, who am I? And that's it. I think, oh, this is in Python 2. Are you gonna work? We don't have requests. We could install it via Python 2, but that'll be annoying. I'm just going to, it won't be the prettiest, but print, yeah, and then print that. That almost did it. So this is honestly the quickest way. There. Let's see. There. Oops. There. Print there. Let's see. I'm sure there's a fancy way of doing this with like rejects maybe. But this doesn't take that long. And I don't feel like doing pip on Python 2 right now because you never know. The thing with pip is it could throw things off. Don't feel like taking a screenshot. There we go. I think that's it. No, it's not. This one. We can check if it works. There we go. 994. Oh, there we go. See, didn't take that long. Okay, user list. Taking a second. Failed to connect. Timed out. Still in. All right. Oh, well, remember, Proxychains. There we go. We need the proxy chain command so that it actually gets through. Okay, user list. Because it, you know, this is for the browser. It doesn't know that it needs this. Like the command terminal, like our system doesn't know what it's doing. Oh man. Let's see what's happening. Let's make sure I have the right address. It looks like I do. Yeah. And you want to execute. Who am I? Worst case, if this doesn't work, yeah, it's really lagging. It could just be a connection issue. No, that's not the one I want. Proxychains, make sure I have it set up right. I do. So Proxychains, we'll wait for it. Otherwise, yeah, see there's some kind of connection timeout. It could just be that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to a method I know works. So I'm gonna do 8,000. 7. And if that doesn't work, then we just have to figure out what's wrong. So now we're gonna do 127. and should refuse. Oh, okay. Probably should have just stuck with 80. We'll do 80. See, now there's a connection there pretty much immediately. Let's see, 443. That's so strange. Let's see. Let's go to, let's cancel this proxy. 127.0.0.1. Oh, that's, forgot my own, here. Forgot my own little lesson there. Let's do that. We need this. That's why it's not working. Keep that handy. There we go. Gonna get rid of you. Try to be fancy with the proxy change. Just didn't like the communication, I guess. So we're gonna do that, and now we can. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to be. So you have to enter credentials. Create back not entered correctly. Okay. Let's see what happened. I know what happened. I forgot to change this one too. Whoa. Yeah. Line break there. There we go. NT authority system. So we're system, which is, that's gonna be pretty, it's gonna make things easy. So RSE PHP. There we go. Because we knew it was gonna drop on web, and it's not there. But if we go to the file that the code said it dropped, tail Gitstack, yeah, Git PHP right here. We know it's going to be there, and we know it was it post request? It was a post request, so we can test it. Curl s dash s is optional. Dash d a equals who am I? There we go. So I'm not going to do it this way. Now we're going to go into Burp. $80. Let's go ahead and capture our request here. Connection refuse, user options. That's why I have my proxy turned off. Gotta learn to turn that on. Gotta learn to gotta remember to turn that off. There we go. So see, going proxy, there it is, history, go, switch to post, a equals who am I, enter target system. So now we want to get a reverse shell. How are we going to do that? Well, there's a couple of different ways. For the sake of time, this machine has an antivirus going on and it's not very friendly, so doing like a standard example, we do, turn this off now. If we do like Nishang's reverse shell one-liner, could do this one right here. Could do this one. It won't work. We have to find a way around it. And let's see. And also remember, this machine still is tunneling through us. So just because we can connect to the machine, it doesn't mean it can really connect back to us, right? So we have to create some sort of relay. Otherwise, yeah, you know, we'll never get a reverse shell. And we can test that out pretty easily. So let's do, so we could do ping RIP address, let's do sudo tcp dump -ni ton 0 ICMP. Right? If we do ping RIP address, does the ping, we never hear it, right? And that means we can connect to it, but it can't connect to us. It's just the way that particular firewall is set, the way the tunneling is set up. So we just have to, but it can talk to this machine. They can talk to each other, right? See, quest timeout. But let's do a ping, let's see, test this theory, to this machine, to the CentOS. So that'll hang for a little bit. We could turn that off. So we're gonna need that. And there's different ways to do relays. You could do it via SSH. You could do like reverse port tunneling. You could use Chisel. But the one that I found works best, especially with CentOS, and especially for relays, is quest timeout. Okay, never mind, I like it. It doesn't want to communicate to that server. But we can test our theory in a little bit. So the one I find that works is Socat. So for that, we're going to go to Socat static. It's the same place. So we're going to do, I'm going to copy a link. And I'm going to do, I'm going to clear this. So we get, let's see, did we download it? Yeah, we did. There we go. I'm going to keep that handy. We're going to need this. So actually, we're going to do this. So we can always test our payload. So now our payload is going to be PowerShell.exe-c. There. So we can test our theory by trying to do a reverse shell against us and see if it can reach us. That's not our IP address. And if it doesn't, then we know for sure it could be a firewall thing. It could just also not be talking to us. We do lwrap netcat, listen on port 443, and there we go. And should get a shell if it can't talk to us. Otherwise, now we are listening on port 8000. So now I gotta get a little bit craftier and start a listener on another port 1337, because if I do 80, it's going to tell me already used. Oh. So see, did we get a reverse shell? We did not. That's okay. So now we're going to do 1337. We're going to go to deb shm. Could delete our Nmap here. Don't need it. Yeah. We're going to do curl. Download the file Socat. Whoops. Listen on 1337. There we go. So now chmod Socat. Now here comes the next part of the lesson. We're gonna do tunnels. So now how are we gonna connect to this? Okay, so we have our Windows target and we have us, right? So again, we have, I'm just gonna copy this because it's easier. There. So we have, we're gonna listen on 443. We're tunneling. Socat is gonna open up a port. Let's call it 8001. That's gonna send it back to us. Oh yeah, that's gonna be handy. Should have done that earlier. That's gonna send it back to us. It's gonna open up 8001 on the CentOS, right? It's gonna come from, let's call it 8002, right? Or let's keep it 8001. No, we can't do that. 8002. So it's gonna come from 8002, and it's gonna come from this machine, right? So no port here. So this machine is gonna send the payload to the SSH server CentOS on port 8002, and what Socat's going to do, I'm going to show you, is gonna relay. It's gonna direct all that any traffic from 8002 to 8001 to 443, which is where we're listening, right? So I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna do that in two ways. So do we have executables? So we're gonna do Socat. We're gonna do TCP-L for listen, colon, we're gonna listen on 8000, and what did I say? We're gonna listen on 8001. All right, we're gonna relay to 8001. Then we're gonna do TCP, our IP address, because that's gonna be our target. That's where we want it to go. And then we are gonna send it to the background so that it doesn't hang there. Actually, because we have a SSH key, I'm going to not send it to the background. In case I mess something up, killing this function is going to be kind of annoying. So we have TCP here, listen to 8001. That's going to open up the port 8001 on our SSH server, and it's going to forward it to our server in port 443, right? So we're going to go ahead and set that up. It's hanging, that's okay. And now we have to set our targets. There's a lot going on here, but I think I can find it. Yeah, there we go. So this is the important part. This is now where we're going to go for our server here on port 8001. Now I know why I can't do it yet. It won't work. We need to open up the firewall to allow this. So this is firewall.cmd -- zone equals public add port 8001. This would allow the firewall. CentOS is a very restrictive firewall. Success. Socat. And now, let's watch. I got everything. It's going to take a second. And it should come through. Come on. Let's see. It's taking a little bit. Oh, okay. Let's see. Did I mess something up? I hope I didn't. Let's see. TCP. Let's send it to the background. Make sure we are listening. 4001. Okay. 10:55:23 443. All right. Okay. Let's try that again. I hope that it sends it over. Should work. Come on. Let's see. Okay, maybe I copied something wrong here. Let's try that again. Do we still have our shell? who am I? Okay, still good. PowerShell there. Make sure we have the right thing. Let's see, PowerShell.exe-c. I'm missing a quote there. I think I was missing that before. But let's go ahead and do that again. So 10,000. 101.200. If not, we'll try a different port. Alright, there we go. Let's URL encoded. So now it's just doesn't want to send the payload. Let's see, what did I miss? PowerShell exe. Definitely messed something up here. Can I go back to the one I had? So this one's correct. This one is not. But it's the same one. That is interesting. Come on. Let's see. Well, let's see if it can reach us. For all we know, it's just not reaching us at all, and that could be a good sign. Let's try just doing a regular server. So let's see. I'm gonna do Python C, and we're gonna go to 1337 and 10508523. Yeah, that's right. And we're gonna do 1337 here. Okay. We gotta open up the port. 1337. All right. So now we just need command to initiate the download. Let's see. Let's just save this. Let's see, where are we? So we could do PowerShell IWR, URI, let's do HTTP. Let's see if we can at least talk to ourselves. I don't know, like nothing. That's not right. Let's see. See if that command works. And that is not right because, again, I think I know what's happening. One second. Ping. Okay. Well, now I know what's happening. I put in the wrong IP address. Was it you that wasn't working? There we go. Okay. So I had it right. I was just putting the wrong IP address, and there you go. Those simple typos can really get you. You know. So, and I saw it here, and I was like, now wait a minute, that's not right. Okay. So there we go. We have a reverse shell, and we're in we're in the Windows machine as system, and that's gonna come in handy because we see we're in Gitstack. Okay, That's our payload. If we go one over, got these files here. Let's see, Gitstack. We have repositories. So this is something to keep in mind. If we are here, repositories, website git, you remember that file from before? Website.git. Okay, this looks like, let's see. This looks like a .git, like a Git repository. So this might come in handy. But we are the system user. So first thing I want to do is dump some hashes, and I'm gonna use Mimikatz. Let's see. Mimikatz GitHub. It's not parrotsec, it's a U. I think it's this one. Mimikatz. Yeah, it's that one. There's one that doesn't have anything. This one, I'm gonna download this one. We're gonna extract it. x64. I want this one. Gonna copy it over here, and that's it. That's all we need. I'm gonna delete that. Don't need it. So now we have to download Mimikatz into our server, so that we can dump any hashes we may need. So let's see. For Mimikatz, now as you know, Mimikatz antiviruses will block it. You know, it's just not a friendly program. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this directory here. Actually, let's start with some persistence. So let's do random password generator online. This one. I don't want special characters. Do not send across the internet. Yeah, I don't want those. Those are fine. I'm going to generate this password here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do net user. I'm going to call RSE dash add, because we're the system. It's longer than 14 characters, so come on. Really? Do that. I think I'd be okay with having a strong password. Because you remember port 5985 was open. So that means that WinRM, so we can actually just remote in instead of having to go through all this RSC. We're going to add ourselves to the administrator group, and then we're going to net local group remote management users RSC dash add. Typo that. There we go. Manager, oops, I'm going to typo that again. Management, alright, management users. So let's do that and do that. So if we do net user RSE, administrators and remote management use. I don't think that's right. Management users, delete. So let's do that again. I think I got it right, but let's just make sure. Maybe it could be just the terminal. No, okay, it's probably just cutting it off. But now what we can do is let's start up another SSH dash L 5985 1 2. We're gonna go here. So now we're going to establish another tunnel. 5 root at here. And now we can do, now we're listening on port 445. So what was our password? So we can do, now we're going to do Evil-WinRM -I-U RSC-P password, and there we go, we're in the machine, right? So this is just a good way to establish persistence administrator, but I'm going to stick with rev shell system because a system Mimikatz just tends to run a little bit better. So, but this kind of will allow me to upload it a little bit easier. So we could do, because then remember, I have, if I want to download it from my machine onto here, I have to do the relays. It's just it'll just be a lot. CD. So there is a directory I like to go to. Windows, system 32, spool, drivers, color. And I'm going to do the same thing with my user. This will make this a lot easier. Call this Evil-WinRM. That was done. Let's do that again. There we go. And now we can do upload Mimikatz. Actually, another trick I like to do is I'm going to copy Mimikatz and let's call it M. WinRM tunnel. Okay, I keep track of what I'm doing. So upload, whoops. So now we're going to do upload M. And it's uploading it. And once that's uploaded, I can print out some passwords. I'm gonna print out any logon credentials that are hopefully on there, and I'm gonna dump some NTLM hashes so that I could do pass the hash as administrator and maybe crack some passwords that I can hopefully use. So let's see. Done. If we go back to our system, we're here. There it is. We're gonna do M. So actually, since we're system, we can disable Defender, PowerShell, set dash MP preference dash, I think it's disable real-time monitoring equals true. Disable real-time monitoring equals true. Set MP reference MP preference. There we go. And I want to do dash M. We're going to first dump the hashes. So privilege debug token elevate LSA dump Sam exit. And hope I didn't typo anything. Didn't work. Let's see, why didn't you want to work? So did it just fail? Maybe I typoed something. Privilege dash dash debug token elevate LSA dump dash Sam. Should work. Let's try to run. Let's do it here. Make sure. If anything, maybe I'll upload Mimikatz. Upload. Let's see. Upload Mimikatz. Yeah, I mean, it could be something with, because if it was the defender would have told me. Okay, now it's there. So let's try this again. So are you here? Let's see. Mimikatz.exe. There we go. Okay. So sometimes the file might work, sometimes it doesn't. So now we know M doesn't. Sometimes you can, I think what I do is I upload it, then I change it, the name. Sometimes that'll work. So for example, if I do copy Mimikatz.exe to M, because as you see, it was the same command. Okay, yeah, so it's just M. Okay, so let's delete that. Let's go back. So it just could depend on the system. So it works, because that's worked before in the past. So you just try different things till something works. So we have our hashes here. We have the administrator hash, NTLM, and that'll come in handy. Why? Because let's exit. We could do a technique called pass the hash. And there we go. So that will come in handy. So hashes, administrator, there, and where I go, yeah, and I think that's it. So as the administrator, we have a lot of, we have this, oh look, we have user Thomas. Let's see, let's look for all NTLM. Let's see, TLM, user, strong, is not helping. Let's see, let's go one by one, little by little. So we have hash NTLM, oh look, it's my user there. So let's see, we have a user named Matt, okay. I think, there we go, Thomas. Thomas, so hashes. Actually, let's do Thomas. Undo hash. We're going to do hashcat dash M 1000. I think it's 1000. Hash secless passwords, leaked databases, RockU, and we should be able to crack it. Yeah, it's taking a while. Cracked. I heart Ruby. So now we have creds. Thomas, I heart Ruby. So this is where the first video will end. I'll pick it up right here. You know, but so far we compromised Linux server, created a relay, did some troubleshooting due to some typos, and then we were able to get a reverse shell at system, dump some hashes, create a user, dump some hashes, and get the administrator hash and a password for Thomas. So the second video will cover how to get to our last host. By more relaying. So feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and see you all next time.